This will be my 45th consecutive Dublin Marathon. 43 actual, and then we ran 2 virtual. The first one took place in October 1980.
It's a sight to be seen. It's a magnificent sight here in Stephen's Green, where we've got over 2,000 boys and girls. I give them the title of boys and girls this morning.
I have done every Irish Life Dublin Marathon since 1980, this being 45, including the 2 COVID ones, which I did as well.
Ever RT Radio 2 Dublin City Marathon has been got off the ground.
I was always interested in running in school. There was 5 or 6 of us who were into the running, and we used to run the East Leinster cross country. I left school in 1980, and around that time you rarely travelled away to run marathons. And even back in those days, like, you could decide on a week before if you were going to do it. I think there was about 2,500 ran the first Dublin Marathon, and like, there was no such thing as chip timing then. If it took you 3 minutes to get through the start line, so be it. You could probably turn up and run a 10-mile, a half marathon with not a huge amount of training, but there is a fair amount of discipline required to run a marathon. They actually have these signs up around the marathon course, and one of them says, if it was easy, everyone would do it.
I'm running since 1968. I actually joined a club started here in Arklow town, and I wandered out there one day and reluctantly was dragged in to do 100 metres, which nearly killed me. But that was me hooked. And for about 12 years before the Dublin Marathon was invented, my favourite distance was 400 metres. And if anyone asked me to run a mile, I would say no way. My first half marathon was down in Kilmacow in Waterford. I think Emily Dowling won, and I came in a good few minutes behind her, but I was delighted to be second. And then they invented the Dublin City Marathon, and off I went up to do that. No real training, about 18-mile run, very difficult. But I got through the marathon. There was only 40 women in the first one, but it was just a fantastic day out. I think the water came in actual glasses. There was no watches, there was no fancy runners, just people trying to do 26.2 miles. It was good in the beginning, but it's outstanding now. What they have turned the Dublin Marathon into is world class. It's world class, it's brilliant.
There's a huge element of sort of mind over matter. You know, you can be cruising along and feeling great, and half a mile later it's just like somebody's hit you with a sledgehammer. So it goes through a lot of highs and lows. It's like any sport. It's the camaraderie, it's the friends that you make, a bit of competition that you'd have in maybe a 2-mile race or at the park run on a Saturday. Probably is the sense of achievement.
And I think I would like to thank the magnificent response that the people of Dublin have given this great occasion. Today has been truly a real festive occasion, an occasion in which the Dubliners responded well.
You know, I'd turn up every year, and I was fairly ambitious. I'd turn up to run and run well, and it was brilliant to break the 3 hours. There was nothing for third or fourth back then. It was just brilliant to get the 3 hours. The camaraderie at the end and during the races and after the races is brilliant.
I firmly believe anybody can do it. It does take a bit of commitment. If you start training in April, May, you've got 6 months of an Irish summer, and you know, it makes it easier to get up early in the morning or even go out at 8 or 9 o'clock at night.
It'll be so worth it at the end. Granted, you won't be able to walk for a few days, but it'll be so worth it. The feeling of finishing a marathon is actually quite special.
If you put your mind to it,